Alright, so as always, we're going to start off with Colossians 3:17. Whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So I want to continue on what we're looking at in going over resurrection. But I want to, the Spirit led me here to bring the understanding through the Spirit of the Most High of what we have done and what we got to do so we can see a resurrection. And I'm going to go to 1 Kings 8 and 47. Now, understand this. When you read Psalms, the 83rd chapter, what these nations have done and come together against us was to take our ability to have the Spirit of the Most High, or the Holy Spirit, take that from us and taking our remembrance from us, where the Holy Spirit is going to bring all things back to our remembrance. Those that are in the Spirit can understand what I'm saying, because everything was taken away from us. That's why Hosea 4:6 said we were destroyed for lack of knowledge. But we were given the knowledge by the Most High, and we have the knowledge of the Most High as we know in part and prophesy in part in these last days. So we're going to go to 1 Kings 8 and 48. It's a prayer of Solomon when he built the temple. It says, yet if they shall bethink themselves. See, that's bethinking mean what? You come back to the reality of who you are as an Israelite, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, having faith in the Mashiach Yahushua, having the fear of the Most High, and the Holy Spirit come bringing all things back to our remembrance. See, that's bethinking ourselves, repenting. Listen. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives, and repent, here it is, and repent, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives. That's crying to the Most High. Supplication means crying to the Most High with humility like no other, having a broken and contrite spirit. In the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned. We have sinned and have done perversely. We have committed wickedness. You can't say this with no pride. You got pride, you're going to admit that you have sinned, have done perversely, have committed wickedness. We all got to sing this and pray to the Most High and cry to the Most High. And so return unto thee with all their heart, with all our mind. The heart is the mind, with all our mind, and with all their soul, in the land of their enemies. That's where we at, in the land of our enemies, which led them away captive. And pray unto thee, pray unto the Most High, toward their land, toward the east, facing the east, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, Jerusalem, and the house which I have built for thy name. Say, then hear thou their prayer and their supplication, our cries. This is the only time the Most High have pity on us. I dare anyone to come with anything you can come with. Out of this Bible, we've been in captivity when the Most High had pity on us. Except for what you see here, supplication. Prayer and supplication in heaven. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause. And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. Look at Leviticus 26. Go to Leviticus 26 chapter. We want to see a resurrection. Look at our past and make sure that we can be ready for a resurrection that's promised to us as the Israelites. Leviticus 26 and 40. Leviticus 26 and 40. If they shall confess their iniquity, which is our sins, our wickedness, and the iniquity of their fathers, the iniquity of our forefathers, with their trespass, which they trespass against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary to them, because we want to walk contrary to the Most High. Say, you walk contrary to us as the Israelites, and have brought them into the land of their enemies, which the Most High did, brought us into the land of our enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts, or uncircumcised minds, be humble. So I told you, you can't go with no pride. You can't cry being prideful. Humble. And they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity. You got to accept the punishment of breaking the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham. Will I remember? And I will remember the land. The land also shall be left of them, and they shall enjoy their Sabbaths, while she lieth desolate without them. And they shall accept of the punishment of their iniquity, because they despised my judgments, and because their soul abhorred my statutes. We hated the Most High's judgments and his law, statutes, commandments. And yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. For I am the Most High, their power. But I will, for their sakes, remember the covenant of their ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he just said, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power. I am the Most High, Yahweh, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Most High made between him and the children of Israel. Not anyone else. Between the Most High and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. See? So from there, we're going to look at, go to Nehemiah, the first chapter. It's all in here. Concerning our resurrection, we want to see resurrection. We got to follow the orders and the things that our ancestors did that worked. The solutions. In other words, Nehemiah 1 and verse 4. And it came to pass, listen, and it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept. So what do you think wept meant? He sat down and cried. He was crying. And mourned certain days, and fasted, and prayed before the Most High of heaven, and said, I beseech thee, O Most High power of heaven, the great and terrible power. You hear that? The great and terrible power. Y'all know anything about that? No, y'all thought you were supposed to fear the Most High, right? He said, the great and terrible power that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Listen at this carefully. Verse 6. Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open. He's crying. You don't believe it? And verse 4. And it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept. The Spirit of the Most High to bring this for nothing. Hear the word of the Most High, people. Verse 6, let thine ear now be attentive, and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee, which we have sinned against thee. You see, the book is entitled Nehemiah, the book of Nehemiah. But you see how he's put himself there, just like Ezra. I'll show you how Ezra put himself right there. We have sinned. We always got to put ourselves in there, no matter how righteous you think you are. This was marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. For the children of Israel thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee, both I, you can't get no clearer than that, both I and my father's house have sinned. Can't get no clearer than that. This is what? The book of Nehemiah. You can go to Ezra, it's the same thing. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, corruptly against the Most High, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments which thou commanded thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, as he's crying to the Most High, praying in prayer, the word that thou commanded thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. Here we are. Told us that in Deuteronomy 28:64. But if ye turn unto me, like we turn back to the Most High, keeping his commandments in these days and times, and keep my commandments, the solutions, people. But if you turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, not just be a hearer of the word, you got to do the word, do the commandments. Though there were of you cast out unto the utmost part of the heaven, utmost part of the earth, yet will I gather them from thence. I'm going to gather you from wherever I scattered you, and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Now these are thy servants and thy people, whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. O Most High, I beseech thee, let now thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant, and to the prayer of thy servants, who desire to fear thy name, desire to fear thy name, desire to be afraid of your name, Most High, and prosper. I pray thee, thy servant this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, for I was the king's cupbearer. That's Nehemiah. Look at Psalms 106. Go to Psalms 106. Psalms 106 and 6. We, including King David, we have sinned with our fathers. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly. See? That's all of us. This is what's marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. Don't think you all that. We all in this together. Daniel's 9th chapter. We're going to look at the 5th verse. Daniel's 9 and 5. We have sinned, see? We, again. We have sinned. And have committed iniquity. And have done wickedly. And have rebelled. Even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments. See? But you go to church, you don't learn precepts. This is what you're getting here, precepts. You got a title. We're dealing with what? Resurrection. You got a title. You got precepts pertaining to that title. It's a book of life, people. And it leads to everlasting life. Neither have we hearkened to thy servants the prophets, which spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O Most High, righteousness belong unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, don't know who we are. I got 75 different identities. Asking the brother, what's your identity? What's your race? What's your nationality? 75 different, I'm talking about way out, identities of a race. Confusion of faces. As at this day. Perfect. As it is this day. To the men of Judah, especially, that's what I was mainly asking. And to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And unto all Israel. All Israel. Be called by some name that you've been called by the slave master. Or massa, I might say. Oppressor. That are near, they near among us, and that are far off. No matter if they far off, still confusion of faces. Through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against thee. That's why. Once I say you're going to do all this, it's going to be a proverb and a byword, all these different names they call us. Because we didn't follow the laws, that's commandments of the Most High. You want to be resurrected, but you don't want to follow what he says to do. We done been through this. It's the last calling. You ain't got another chance to come back. That's why he said when you fall away, you got to seek him 10 times more. You know, and I feel all of us need to seek him 10 times more because we all fell away. If you just coming into it, you was out there in wickedness, born in wickedness, as David said. He's a man after the Most High's own mind. Listen. O Most High, to us belong confusion of face, to our kings and to our princes and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. To the Most High, our power belongeth mercies, not getting something you do deserve, and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. He still gives us mercy and forgiveness. Though we, gotta hear this, people, though we as a nation have rebelled against the Most High. To the Most High our power belongeth mercies and forgivenesses. Though we have rebelled against him, neither have we obeyed the voice of the Most High our power, to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets. Over and over again. Come back, going over the laws with us. This is right, Israel. This is wrong, Israel. But we sinned against the Most High every single time. That's why we're in the condition we're in now. As it is written, you say, yeah, verse 11, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. They'll come up with an excuse in a minute. Oh, no, I hear what you're saying, but, let God be the judge. Do they know? They ever looked at the scripture that says it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power? Fearful. Let the Most High be the judge? Okay. And he hath confirmed his words. Most High confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us by bringing upon us a great evil. See, understand this. When you read Psalms 45:7, I believe it is, Most High say you create evil. But he create evil for those that do iniquity. You are punished for something that you did in being wicked. That's why we punish them. You see? Most High wound, he heal. He kill, he make alive. He does all these things. So we are subject to the Most High evil when you transgress against what he wants you to do in keeping his laws. That's what it says. And he hath confirmed his words, verse 12 of Daniel the 9th chapter, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem, as it is written in the law of Moses. All this evil is come upon us. Yet may we not our prayer before the Most High our power, that we might turn from our iniquities, from our sins, and understand thy truth, which is the law. Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. That's what I say. And understand thy truth, which is to understand the Most High's law. Therefore hath the Most High watched upon the evil, looked upon the evil that he brought upon us, for breaking his laws, statutes, commandments, and brought it upon us. Brought this evil upon us. For the Most High our power is righteous in all his works which he doeth. For we obeyed not his voice. See? Make this perfectly clear. Go to Ecclesiasticus 15 and 11. Ecclesiasticus 15 and 11 in the Apocrypha. Say not thou, it is through the Most High that I fell away. Don't blame the Most High. For thou oughtest not to do the things that he hateth. You should not do the things that the Most High hateth. What is that? Sin. Breaking his laws. Doing whatever you want to do. That's why I tell you in Ecclesiastes 3:24, for many are deceived by their own vain, which is worthless, opinion. Good for nothing opinion, the way you think. And an evil suspicion is overthrown their judgment. So you allow Satan to get in your mind to have you think wrong. Therefore you speak wrong. Therefore you act wrong. See? That's why it says. Verse 12. Say not thou, he hath caused me to err. For he hath no need of the sinful man. Get it? He ain't got no need for you. The Most High hated all abomination. He hated all filthy, wicked acts of sin. And they that fear the Most High love it not. See? You're going to be against the evil. You're going to be against abomination. You're going to be against the sins that people want to commit and want you to follow them to hell. To hell with them. That's where they're going. But they want you to follow them to hell. No, you go to hell anywhere you want to. Don't try to take me with you. That's what you should be telling them. Or you should be thinking that in your mind. It's the last days. Who knows how long we have? You gotta recognize it's real. Listen, he himself made man from the beginning and left him in the hand of his counsel. I mean, what better counsel than to be left in the hand of the Most High's counsel? And that's through the men that he's bringing forth on this earth. If thou wilt to keep the commandments and to perform acceptable faithfulness, believing in him, keeping the commandments, he have set fire and water before thee. Stretch forth thy hand to whether thou wilt. Fire on the right hand. There's a small path, it tells you. Small path. Fire on the right hand and deep water on the left hand. And that small path you gotta go through. You fall into the fire, you're gonna burn up. You fall into the water, you're gonna drown. You gotta go straight. Don't let nobody take you off your path. He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. It says, before man is what? Life and death. Before man is life and death. That's all you have a choice of. You're going to choose life. You know what that life is? Immortality. Everlasting life. Eternal life. Living forever and ever and ever. And death is be cast into the lake of fire. Where the worms never die and the fires never quench. Therefore, I showed you how the Most High got us. He have a body for that spirit. The flesh going into the dirt. But that spirit going back to the Most High. He got a place for you. If you don't want to follow him, come back to him. It says, for the wisdom proper application of knowledge is wisdom of the Most High is great, and he is mighty in power. You hear that? He's mighty in power. We have this mighty power as the Israelites. Wow, Shalom Mashiach Yahushua. Mashiach Yahushua going to the Most High, that the Most High can bring back his power to us. His shield, his protection, his armor to protect us. Do it all. Hallelujah to the Most High. You know what he says? For the wisdom of the Most High is great, and he is mighty in power, and beholdeth all things. He sees everything. Listen, and his eyes are upon them that fear him. See, his eyes upon those that fear him. Afraid of him, will do what he say do. His rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, commandments, people. That's what his eyes are upon. See, you got to add that fear in the Most High, along with keeping the commandments and having faith in the Mashiach Yahushua. Because it all got to go together. That's why Mashiach Yahushua said, I tell you, she was fear. Fear him, that after he, Most High, have killed, cast your butt into hell. He said, yeah, fear him. You see, you taught in Christianity, you're supposed to fear the Most High because he's all love. No, he's not all love. Exodus 15:3 say the Most High is a man of war. In war, you have war. You do what? You have strategies on how you're going to kill people. Straight up. Or be killed. And the Most High ain't nobody killing him. So you know what he's going to do. He got one way. Ain't but one way. And that's death. If you fall on that right side of the fire, or if you fall on that left side of the deep water, ain't no land, you can't swim out of it. Deep water, that's it. And that fire, you know what fire does? It just burns you up. Most I say he's a consuming fire. Most I say I will melt you. Listen. And his eyes are upon them that fear him, and he knoweth every work of man. Excuse me. So he knows everything we do. Pay attention. He have commanded no man to do wickedly. Hear that? The Most High ain't commanded no man to do wicked. That's why you hear what we're saying. We have sinned. We have sinned. We have sinned. Most High said, this is my law, such commandments, and we broke them. He said, he have commanded no man to do wickedly. Neither have he given any man license to sin. See, we the ones, wicked Israelites, we the ones that asked for a license to sin. In one case scenario, it was in the Greek Empire. I'll show you that. Look at First Maccabees, the first chapter. This is when the Greeks came to power. In verse 13, it says, let's read verse 11. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. That's just like a lot of these churches and so forth. They made a covenant with the heathen. I'll say the leaders that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Yeah, we don't have our 501c3 no more. We can't even get what we was getting. We can't live large like we was living. So this device pleased them well. But this is what wicked Israelites did. You hear what it said? There went out of Israel wicked men. Then certain of the people were so forward herein. Remember, this is wicked men in the Greek Empire, that they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. So he gave them license to do after the orders of the heathen. So Israelites couldn't do nothing about it, because we were in captivity under the Greeks. It says, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, that's the law, such commandments of the Most High, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. See? We were made also to not even recognize who we are as Israelites, as it is today. I mean, to take the name of Israel out of remembrance, as I told you in Psalms 83rd chapter, here it is right here. It's where it all started. First Maccabees 6. No, second Maccabees, second Maccabees 6. And we're going to look at what happened to our people before Mashiach Yahushua came on the earth. You're going to be resurrected. You got to come out of this mindset. Second Maccabees 6. This is during the time of Ptolemy, who was one of the four generals that Alexander the Greek had set over we as the people of different provinces, 4 provinces that he had. He ruled in Egypt. Look at what happened in verse 6. After they did all this, I mean, just defiling our temple and doing all these unlawful acts in the temple, having orgies and whores and prostitutes up in the church and so forth. Verse 6, that's what I'm going to get to. It say, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts. So the holy convocations and the Sabbath days, it was unlawful to keep the Sabbath day and the feast days, holy days that the Most High gave us in Leviticus 23rd chapter. And the feast days, like the Feast of Dedication that we dedicated, that we would dedicate and observe every year, and the Feast of Purim, and read Esther and so forth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. You hear that? And if he did, they were put to death. So that's when the Mashiach Yahushua came on the earth. It was so hard to reach our people as it is today. Think about it. It was unlawful for we as the Israelites to proclaim to be an Israelite. So therefore, when the Mashiach Yahushua come on the earth, that's why you see the Jew and to the Greek. They were Greeks. They took on the culture of the Greeks, called Hellenists. This are our people. Look at Daniel's 9:13. As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil has come upon us. It made we not our prayer before the Most High, our power, that we might turn from our iniquities. Let's come back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High and understand thy truth. Understand the Most High's law. It's very important, people. Therefore hath the Most High watched upon the evil and brought it upon us. Most High looked at the evil and brought it upon us. For the Most High, our power, is righteous in all his works, which he doeth. For we obeyed not his voice. But you keep hearing what? We. When he was righteous. But we still got to include ourselves in the unrighteousness of our nation before the Most High. And don't exclude yourself. Because we are wicked. We have broken the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. When you find those that don't do it, then hey, better watch out. They're over righteous much. They're exalting themselves. But look at it. It's Daniel. Daniel didn't have to come back to this wicked earth. Look. And now, O Most High, our power, that have brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and have gotten thee renown, as at this day we have sinned. We have sinned. We have done wickedly. Understand this, people. You want to know what works? You hearing what works. Those that have ears to hear, eyes to see. Some of you don't have eyes and ears to hear and see. But hopefully the ones that do, it'll prick your spirit. It'll humble you. And you'll follow suit. I'll give you another scenario. My favorite, Ezra. Just to show you how I made a statement, I'm going to prove it. You got to prove all things. So, as far as solutions, that's what I asked the Most High for, solutions. And I have a whole another breakdown. Hopefully we'll get a chance to get into. But he took me here because what's the point of you thinking you're going to have a resurrection when you don't even know how to please the Most High? What works with him? Listen, Ezra, he was rolling with Nehemiah too. But this what works, people. Listen. And some of you probably heard it before. If you haven't, then those that are the first time hearers, these are solutions that work with the Most High. Isn't that what you want? The formula of what will please the Most High? Will make him feel good about what you're saying to him? Listen, 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter. And let's look at verse, we're going to start at 50. And that there is promised us an everlasting hope. Now, this is resurrection. Everlasting hope. We're going to live forever. Everlasting hope. Whereas ourselves, including Ezra's, being most wicked, are made vain. You got to hear this. Because I emphasized it over and over again. Mind you, I haven't went over this. This is through the Spirit of the Most High. All praise to him. Glory to him. It's his word. Hear what he's saying. And that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, everlasting life. Dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly. You gotta hear that we. Including Ezra, even though he's a righteous man. And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. See, that we just stuck out to me. As you done heard it from other prophets, Nehemiah and Daniel. And that there's be showed a paradise whose fruit endure forever. Hear this? We're going to have fruit that just keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. The best fruit of all times. Better than the first estate. Better than the first Garden of Eden. You know what it said? And that there should be showed a paradise. You're talking about resurrection. This is it right here. Whose fruit endure forever. Wherein is security and medicine, which we have not entered into, shall not enter into, both, which since we shall not enter into, you put yourself there. You put yourself there, what seat you have on the chariots that's going to Israel? I ain't talking about going to Willow, I'm talking about going to Israel. Putting you in your land. Listen, verse 54. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. Our faces put themselves in with the punishment of the wicked. For while we lived and committed iniquity, while we lived and committed sins against the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, His rules and regulations, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Now, what did the Most High tell Ezra? 2nd Ezra 8 and 48. In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High. Don't all of us want to be marvelous before the Most High? Listen. In that thou hast humbled thyself. That's first and foremost. Like I was saying in the spirit, you got to get rid of that pride. And to humble yourself. As it becometh thee. What you just heard was Ezra's humbling himself. Listen. In that thou hast humbled thyself. As it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself, yourself, worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. See? So I say, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. We don't know what's going to happen. All we can know is, hey, we have sinned. We. When you find pastors or priests or anyone that call themselves a leader, they don't include themselves in that, you better check it. You heard what he said. This is marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. He didn't include himself as one of the righteous. You can't make it say nothing different. In the spirit, you know, the Most High speaking. Because I didn't plan it. But I know that I'm hearing what he's saying in his word. His word is alive, people. I hear what he's saying. We want a resurrection. We want to be a part of the resurrection. But understand what works, the solutions that work with the Most High is our answers. They gave us a formula and gave us a recipe. All we got to do is just taste it, eat it up. I mean, it's already made for us. All we got to do is eat it up. Listen, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time, when the last days, people shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. See? But understand now for thyself. I say, understand this, Ezra, for yourself. And seek out the glory for such as be like thee. This is his home. Who is like this? That understands this and going to operate in the way Ezra's operated. And you see Daniel and Nehemiah, they operate the same way. That's why you see who have books. They have books with their name. The book of Daniel, the book of Nehemiah, the book of Ezra. You see? And our lives are being transcribed by the angels. Why the book's going to be open, people? They got a whole lot of books on us from how long you live, but every day is a new day. And something happened in that day. It is nothing but your thought pattern that they writing in the books. If you ain't said nothing, they know what you're thinking. They know how you feel about what you got to do for yourself, and what you got to deal with as far as dealing with the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. Every day we know that the angels are writing down all our wickedness. We wicked, trying to get it together, trying to work to be perfect. If not, then hey, you don't need nothing. You are ready to come. You ready to come. Just waiting on the Most High to come pick you up, right? Take you to the kingdom, New Jerusalem. You already got your seat as 144,000, right? These are the things you got to look at. Nobody guaranteed to be there. You can flip out and talk, and you might just flip out. And never be the same. That's the power of the Most High, y'all. You better understand. Too many people are dealing with all kind of things that are beyond our imagination. All of a sudden, bam, here it is. Unexpectedly. From the Most High. So you got to give him glory for just waking up this morning and having your right mind. Remember, it's a plan to take everything out of your remembrance. That's why I say my people are destroyed for what? Lack of knowledge, because you have forgotten the law. You departed from the law of the Most High. That's why we're in the situation we're in now. It's hard to come out of it because our people still want to do whatever they want to do. Same spirits, rebellious. But we're going to overcome. Our praise to the Most High. Most High will. Those that want to conform to change and following what's going to be His way. Look at Jeremiah 29. And this is when we were in captivity under the Babylonians, Ethiopians. Jeremiah 29 and 10. But thus said the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you, perform my good word towards you, in causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, said the Most High, thoughts of peace, thoughts of peace, and not of evil. You see, he said he had thoughts of peace for us. He said, and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall you call upon me, and you shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. I will listen to you. And you shall seek me and find me, when you shall search for me with all your heart. But you ain't going to find him if you ain't searching for him with all your mind. And I will be found of you, he said the Most High. And I will turn away your captivity. See, this is what we need now. For our captivity be turned away from us. And I will gather you from all the nations. So we scattered in the four corners of the earth. That's why you got to gather us from all the nations. And from all the places whither I have driven you, said the Most High. This is our resurrection. And I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. I'll bring us back to the land of Israel. Look at Daniel's, the 6th chapter. Daniel 6th chapter, and we're going to look at verse 10. Daniel 6 and 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day. That's what Daniel did. He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Most High, as he did aforetime. See? So we got to face the east and cry unto the Most High and give thanks unto the Most High. That's why you hear what he says in Colossians 3:17, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord and Savior. Giving thanks to the Most High and the Father. Thanking the Most High in the name of the Lord and Savior. Mashiach going to the Most High, telling them to water. Thank you. Thank you for everything. For these words be pleased and praised for everything. So say Brakatah of Yahweh. You know, you can't thank him enough. But if you don't, then why should he be coming through for you? Or you're just supposed to do whatever he's doing for you and you don't thank him. You gotta understand. See, we looking for solutions. We got to have solutions, people, because without solutions, what are we doing? We operating on our own vain opinion. You let evil come in and lead you astray from the Most High, then what do? He bring evil in. He made evil for those transgressors, those that commit iniquity, those that are following abominations that the Most High hate. That's why he had the evil. When he said, hey, you don't need to deal with evil. You don't want to deal with my evil. You just need good. See? What's good? The Most High and His laws is good. That's it. And we're going to be made perfect. We're going to be perfect. Just keep the laws of the Most High, fear the Most High, change, become a new creature, be born again, and have faith in the Mashiach Yahushua, going to the Most High on our behalf. That's what it's all about, people. It's very, very important that we see this. First Kings 8:49. You say, once we bring the Spirit of the Most High back to our remembrance, that the nations have got together to take it away from us. Because if we don't know who we are, how you have the Holy Spirit, and it's defined in Isaiah 11 chapter 2nd verse, Spirit of the Most High. How you have all the attributes of the Holy Spirit and you don't even know who you are? You walk around talking you're a Gentile, and you make sure that you say you ain't no Israelite. So, and you are an Israelite of Negro and Latino descent, pretty much. But all Israel not of Israel. So you get that straight too. Mainly the indigenous, I'll say. Because the prophet gonna be subject to the prophet. If you that now, you was that below. You will come back. Dealing the same way, bringing us up, bring forth this truth in the last days to our people, whether they hear or forbear. Somebody gonna hear. Somebody gonna forbear. So hopefully you will hear and apply this in your life so that you can see the resurrection, because it's here. Just a matter of how we're going to do like he said. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication. That's our crying. Our prayer and our crying to the Most High. Humility. With a broken and contrite spirit that he wants us to have. In heaven, thy dwelling place. And maintain their cause. And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee. And all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee. And give them compassion before them who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. You know what the Most High said? He said, in his word, he said, when you please the Most High, he make even your enemies be at peace with you. So how you please the Most High? Repent